Hey everybody, Brian here from quantlabs.net. Okay, so I finally got something working to capture, as you can tell from this title here, get near real-time stock data from Yahoo Finance. This is exactly what this is. I was hoping to be able to do the same thing with my XLQ. That product is fine for just pure Excel. When you're trying to do it through Microsoft COM, I ran into all kinds of memory problems, so I had to toss that out and resort to something else. So this is what I'm resorting to. I think I've mentioned this before, from this pretty good software project. You can just download and you can get all this information from Yahoo, probably among other things if you know how to code it right, and he explains it all in here. I'll put this list in the blog. Now this is what it does. I've added some new things to it, just in particular for databases. As you know, I run my own database now using Postgres. I'll show you that in a minute. I'll just show you what this product does. This is what you get when you download, plus all my changes. So just waiting for it. Okay, so what it's going to do, it's going to do the same thing as if you're going to download it. The difference is there's a few, as I said, a few changes. It's going to use these data sets, these assets that I'm using, like corn, wheat, soybean, natural gas, silver, blah blah blah. These are major commodities that I'll be watching, and I can add as many as I want. I'll talk about that in a minute. But because the markets are closed, what would happen is when the markets are open during the working hours, Eastern Standard for, let's say, New York, these would get updated for whatever parameter you want. I'll show you that in the code in a minute. But you can set this up to every 30 seconds, every second, every minute, every hour, whatever you want. Now here's the caveat. The more requests you send out to Yahoo Finance, because it's a free service, you have to be very careful on the amount of requests you send out. Meaning, if you send out too many requests in such a short period, let's say in an hour, and you're doing this every minute, every 30 seconds, there's a higher likelihood that Yahoo will cut you off and probably ban your IP. Now, obviously you don't want that to happen, so there's a number of choices you have. You can either really whittle down the number of assets that you're watching, like in this case where I think there's probably 20, let's say. I don't know what the threshold is. I'm still going to be testing it to see if I can get away with this, doing it, let's say, every 30 seconds, pulling it, and then running it throughout a whole trading session from 9:30 to 4:30, let's say, and seeing if that works. If so, great, and I'm good to go. But those are sort of things that you need to be aware of, and of course that's why I'm always stressing using good data providers like IQFeed or the other one, ActiveTick, which I'm looking at, or your broker. Now, I can go on about that, meaning you can look at Quandl, which is not bad for like government data, stuff like that. It's free, but Oanda is pretty good. The data I'm not sure about, but if you're going to trade with Oanda for Forex, a major commodity, you do have to realize that the data is off. But generally, from the top guys that I've learned from, is you always want to use the broker data, whatever your broker is. So when I started playing with the interactive brokers in the last week, I like interactive brokers. I like the data. The problem is the way they structure that API is really wonky for me. I send out a request that sends back something like 2 threads, and I got to decipher what that data is. It's a complete nightmare for me. So I most likely won't use interactive brokers for data. I should, but if there's a better way to be able to work with it and in a much simpler way, I'll probably obviously consider it when I get to that bridge when I cross it. But the thing is, Quandl's fine. I haven't really played and really looked at the Oanda data and how it's structured. But with the Oanda, you have either REST API, which is pretty well all the major languages when you can go to their GitHub repository, or you can use the Java option as well. Now, the Java works for me. I can do the same thing what I'm about to show you and stuff it into a database. Okay, so I've done enough blabbing. These are the assets I could be watching, and I've listed these on my blog. Let me show you the database. Okay, so this tool is a front-end tool that I use, which is unfortunately on .NET and Windows, there's not a lot of options to be able to talk to Postgres, the database. As a result, you're limited really to one code base that I've seen that kind of works, and that's what I use. The coding methodology is pretty well, not the best, but it works. And what it's all about from this point on is it's all about quick and dirty coding. I just want to get stuff up and running as fast as possible, and I'll come back at a later stage to really improve the connectivity with a database, maybe change the database, maybe go to NoSQL, who knows. But right now all I care about is just connecting things, getting like some kind of testing environment for strategies, and be able to get that environment up and running. That's all I care about right now. So this code, this database, I would not recommend you to model a database like this or a table. This is what I call a TIX database, and it has all the important things that Infragistics front end that I've been going on about for the last couple of weeks. These are the necessary data points that it needs from Yahoo Finance, but because I'm watching more like futures and Forex, a lot of these will come back as zero because, well, Yahoo Finance doesn't track that stuff. For instance, if I'm watching corn, is there going to be a market capitalization on it? Probably not. A stock, yeah, but not a future or an ETF. Okay, so you're going to see a lot of zeros in here, and that's okay because that data doesn't exist for that particular asset or instrument that you're watching. But these are the ones that I'm watching, so I've got 19 in total. This is my TIX database, okay? I'm going to show you that in a minute when I run this program again. I'm going to show you what it does, okay? So I have another table here called Auto Watch List. Now I think I may have shown this in another video, I'm not sure. But let me just show you the columns. You just got a ticker, a name, and the exchange, okay? You know, the size of these varicators are probably really outrageous, but like I don't care. Like I said, I just want quick and dirty. You can always go in and easily change these, like alter and boom. You can easily do that, and it probably won't impact a whole lot in your front end code on your C# or your MATLAB or whatever. So you can make those changes fairly quickly. But again, I keep saying, quick and dirty code, get something up and running fast. Okay, so that's my ticker. So let me just show you that. Let me just get rid of these. The data in here. Okay, so if you go select star test auto watch, okay, these are the assets. There's 20 or 19 or whatever. I showed you that app right here. That's them. So what'll happen is this app this app basically watches or will download a certain set of stocks. Okay, I've changed it where it will read a database, particularly obviously this database is auto watch list. It'll load it and then pre-populate into this card stock, my own version of it, with all the necessary tickers or whatever you want to call them for these card stocks. Okay, so that's change number one with the database. Change number two is I've added I've shown this database before, or this table, but the TIX database is basically all that information I showed you on what my Infragistics front end will be watching. So as a result, that's okay. And then there's certain information that I'm getting from Yahoo Finance for the front end Infragistics equity trading application. So I store that in my my TIC database, okay, or TIC table. So let me show you that. But these are all the info. This is all the info: bid, ask, daily high, daily low, market cap, last update, blah blah blah. Again, the data types are not very efficient, but again, it's quick and dirty. Get it up and running. I don't care. I can come back and modify it, and obviously I will. Now, again, let's talk about databases versus message queues or streams or whatever. Again, databases is not the ideal way to build an automated trading system around it. If you're going to do it, I'd recommend something like a NoSQL option, like a Mongo or a Redis. Okay, that's something I would recommend. But at the end of the day, again, I just want something simple and easy to work with, and databases is it. Postgres is, again, I use, because I've looked at all of them, SQL Server, MySQL. I use Postgres for the simple reason is I want to travel. I want to be able to store this type of data on a remote server through a standard web hosting account. Postgres is a very popular option that you can get because it's a Linux-based databases. It's open source, free for the web hosting companies, so you can get this as an installation option for nothing. And you can easily deploy this type of application and database onto those type of web hosting accounts, and then be able to use maybe a Java application to be able to suck that data from your market provider and then stuff it into a database in a web hosting trading account. Now, let's say if you do get hacked, that's okay, because it's just market data. You know, you're not dealing with sensitive algorithmic based data like calculations or formulas or even your trading history or your live trading information. You're gonna have that usually on your desktop, and your desktop application, the trading application, which I'm building with that Infragistics trading equity app, is going to reside something on a laptop, and that application will connect into a remote database using something like Postgres. Now you might be asking, why don't I use MySQL? MySQL is a nightmare now to install it. Oracle's done a nice job at butchering that database, and I gladly use MySQL. But Postgres is just as good, and it's an enterprise level database. I go on and on about it, but we're not here to talk about it. We're here to talk about this cardstock application. Woo! Okay, so we know that we're dealing with this table called ticks. Now, let me show that. So this is a ticks database, right? Here's all the assets. You get your bid, ask, daily high, your daily low, all that stuff. Okay. Again, the data types and the lengths that I've chosen are not efficient. I don't care. I just want to get this thing up and running. And again, you're going to get those zero return types, as I said earlier. Okay. So let me just clear this database and run the app. Woo. Okay. Let's do it. Now again, this is what I'm using is so-called Razor SQL. You can get a pretty lengthy trial on it, and you know, it's pretty good. And you know, let me just show you the help here. So again, this is the Razor SQL. If you're interested, download it. Okay, just look for Razor SQL. It's a good front end to a Postgres database. Okay, going back, you can see I've just deleted the database of my ticks. Nothing exists. It's empty. Whoa, what happened there? That shouldn't be existing. Oh, you know why? This is running. Boo boo. I'll show you that in a sec. Hang on here. Alright. Okay, so we've done that. Let me do what I just did. Clear out the database. Delete all rows. Take that out. Boom. Yes. And then let me show you, that should be empty. Beautiful. Okay, so let's go to Visual Studio where the source code is. Now I'm not going to go over the source code, but I'm just going to run it for you and show you basically how this app works. Okay, so I'm running it in debug mode, and it takes usually a couple seconds because it's doing some database stuff, connecting in the database. So it's now brought up the front end GUI as I shown before. And now the app is running, right? So if I go into my Razor for the Postgres, let's see what's happening here. So it's running, okay? So we have 19 records. So if I do a count, you'll see, I'll show you that in a sec here actually. If we go into this one, I've left this at default, so it's going to pull Yahoo Finance every 25 seconds. I can change that to 30 seconds, a minute, whatever I want. We've talked about that as well. All right, so as I said, the market is closed. Today's Saturday, so you're not going to get any new data. But if it were open and this program was to be able to go out and request data from Yahoo Finance, it'd update this table that you're looking at right now, this ticks table. So it's going to use the same data as before. So you can see it's got 57 rows in it now. So let's see how many we got. So it's just the same data. It's just repeating. It's polling, and that's what this tick database is going to do. If I want to do every 1 second, I could do it. But again, I just mentioned that you got to be very careful because Yahoo Finance offers a threshold of how many requests you can send to the servers, right? So let me go back and see how many. So we had 57. So how many we got? So now we have 76, and 25 seconds later it's gonna increase. But this is a great database. So this is working quite well. So actually, this was a nice, easy app to build, and to be able to add in the Postgres components using this one, and blah blah blah. Okay, so we're done. This works great. Captures real-time data. So if you want to go to this website, as I said, I'll put this in my blog in a posting. You can download it and make the modifications. So what am I going to do now? Well, I'm going to put this program source code, the actual databases, this one, and the TIX database, as well as the auto watch list. I'll put the SQL, or what they call here in DDL. And what DDL is basically, let me just show you. Basically, it enables you to create your table right within Postgres. So if you're going to use a free tool to use it, or Razor SQL, you can do that. So I'll provide that, so you can create your table for both the ticks and the auto watch list. These are custom. These are my own tables, so I'll provide that, as well as this project here, this card stock. I'll put that up as well for only my members, be it Elite, Premium, and all of that. But I'm going to also do something different that I've never done before. I'm going to put this guy up, that package, the database, the DDL code I just showed you to create your tables and to get you started. Okay, so that there's a lot of newbies out there that want to be able to build in a similar process than what I'm doing. So what I'll do is, with this package for both the DDL files as well as the actual Visual Studio project, I'm going to put it up there for public, and I'm going to sell it for like 48 hours, okay? 48 hours only, and that's it. And I'm going to keep it really cheap, like $20 or $30 or something like that. So if you are an active follower on what I do, thank you very much for that. Great, and I'll be able to provide you this code for next to nothing, and get the DDL and everything. Get yourself going. Go through the code, see how you're able to connect into a database, modify a database, and all that using Postgres, which is free. Download your Visual Studio. This version is, as you can probably tell, Visual Studio Ultimate, but you can easily get Visual Studio Community for free. So you get all this stuff for free. You just gotta download the source code. So that's gonna be the cool thing. I'm gonna have another project as well, because I had somebody ask about C# scripts that will download from government source data, from Fed, let's say the Fed, U.S. Fed, or the Euro organization out of Belgium. I can't remember what they are, but it'll download all that data for you for free, and even Quandle. Just did a posting on that. So be on the lookout for these kind of little projects. I'm doing this on purpose to get people to really actively watch what I'm doing, because now that I have the data in the database, I can use this data and then feed it into the very powerful Infragistics front-end app, and I'm using that as my front end to everything about this automated trading system. This to me is going to be one of the most powerful that I've ever come across. I'm not saying that because I'm building it or modifying it. I'm doing it because I'm a very visual person, and the charting is powerful. It's really useful, and you can do so much with it. But because I have the source code to it, I'm going to be able to do a lot with it. And then on top of that, the next step is to build a strategy manager. If you've seen the quant trading app that I demoed about 2 weeks ago, that has a very powerful strategy manager built in, so that the next step is to put something like that into this Infragistics equity trading app and be able to build out an entire strategy manager within the Infragistics Equity Manager. That is going to be very powerful because once I get past that, I'll be able to, I got like 5-10 strategies on the go in my head that I want to get out, that people have come to me that want me to build stuff and put that all into my Quant Elite membership. Ooh, there's a lot coming down the line, but that Infragistics equity trade is going to be very, very powerful. And if you're also part of my my trading club group or whatever, on my meetups or whatever, I'm going to use this application to demo these charts. I've got so many cool, powerful ideas for this app, and it's going to be pretty powerful. But the thing is, I'm not going to put this out anywhere. It's just going to keep this app to myself. But I have no problem issuing or putting out these little apps like this cardstock, this modified one, or some other stuff as well. But the real emphasis moving forward is going to be put into analytics, trading ideas, trading charts, and just those sort of things, because this is just the first, I'll call it second generation, but at the end of the day, when I start to advance the trading algorithms and strategies, the next probably final step is to do all of that in MATLAB, and MATLAB Simulink specifically, because I can visually and rapidly generate trading ideas and then be able to generate C++ or C code from those, and still be able to create DLLs and deploy them into these type of apps that I'm building on with this Infragistics trading equity app as well. So there's going to be two-pronged attack here, where we've got simple algos that will be developed that I can use within my .NET C# front end Infragistics trading equity app, and at the same time be able to deploy it into using a C or C++. And we're also talking on the very back end some of the best FPGA guys that I know of that are building out very powerful hardware specific FPGA, because we've got a lot of interest in that. You know, I'm talking to quite a few people that want to seed some kind of operation to build that up, and using FPGA as the way. We're being guided by some very large HFT dudes out of New York and of all places Israel, that are probably some of the best guys out there to deploy these kind of solutions, but properly. These are from team leads of large, like multi-billion-dollar operations, and we're going to be putting that out in the back end. But if you are interested in these options, these are not going to be cheap. These are going to be very, very expensive, because the boards alone are anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000, and to set up these type of operations are about $50,000 with all the hardware, and that's just to get the hardware built. From there, you have to deploy into your exchange environments, and we're way down the line. But those get very expensive, at $5,000 to $10,000 a month. Okay, so these are very expensive operations to start up with. So that's what's being talked about within my little private community. But at the end of the day, for now, I'm keeping it very simple, very basic, and just showing you a basic evolution of a new automated trading system with powerful front ends using just great charting packages like Infragistics. And maybe if you haven't seen, please check out Lightning Chart as well. That is phenomenal charting that you can get, that I'm also going to be deploying somewhere along the line, and really being able to do stuff in virtual reality and in 3D and in real time. It's so fast and it renders so gloriously. I could go on about it. But right now, this is the first app that actually works with a cardstock, and it's very simple. And as you can see, that front end I just showed you is powerful. Hopefully you can join me on this. And if you are interested in joining my elite, I stress this is the lowest price you'll get. You will not get it any cheaper. As we move out and start to scale up stuff, both on a front end algos automated trading system, as well as all these trading ideas and dynamic trading. It's exciting, man. It's really exciting. I'm really looking forward to putting a lot of demos out there for you. Okay, so there we go. Join my next set of trading clubs. They're all free. Meetups online. Mondays or Tuesdays we have them. If you're in Toronto, we do what we call social din-dins. We just get together and we just talk stuff. Okay? Hopefully that excites you. And this card stock will excite you. And hopefully, and pray to the Lord that keep your eyes out for that, what we'll call a flash sale of this app with source code, with that DDL I showed you for the database and tables, and I'll put it up for 48 hours. And really cheap too. Okay? Talk to you later.